everyone. This is Abhilasha Trivedi, and you are listening, watching my podcast, Knowing Universe. It's available on Spotify as well as on YouTube, and that's why it's video now. Of course, you can listen if you want, right? So, as you know, guys, it's season 2 of my podcast, Knowing Universe, and this season, I have changed a little bit. Of course, I should, isn't it? What's the point of having seasons? So what I'm doing is like I am going to talk about some of the ways, things, we learn, we go deep, we research. How do we do that? What are the, organizations they help us to understand and how it all started? Tell me which is the first name coming in your head. Yes, absolutely. It's NASA. Okay. Now everyone knows what NASA is, isn't it? So NASA stands for National Aeronautics and Space Administration. It is in USA, right? But before I go in detail about NASA, I would like to talk about Sputnik. Have you heard of Sputnik? Sputnik actually was the first ever artificial satellite. So satellite is anything, which revolves around the main planets, right? So moon is our satellite. Our moon is our satellites, and other planets have also their satellites. But the first ever satellites we have launched from the Earth. And if you just go on online, you will find there are so many satellites. Amazing, and they all help us to understand that how to connect. If you can see me, this is how the satellite is working. You can explore, you can do internet. It is all because of the satellite, artificial one. So the first ever satellite, artificial satellite, was Sputnik 1, and it was launched on October 4, 1957. It was a groundbreaking experience, research, and launch in this field. First of all, after Second World War, we needed, we know that something was going on before, during the Second World War. Of course, I'm not going there. I don't think I need to. But people realize, the countries like USA and Russia, they realize that we do need to do more investigations about how the things and how the flying works, and how the universe works. So we start getting more interested and researching. So USA was doing their own thing, and Russia was doing their own thing. Finally, Soviet Union, at that time it was a Soviet Union, they did for the first time, they launched this Sputnik 1, October 4, 1957. And it was very successful. Successful because it was launched. It stayed for 3 weeks. The battery was not very, good, as in it just lasted for 3 weeks. So that's why in that time, of course, everyone was shocked. I think it must be happy shock, isn't it? Everyone was taken aback, pleasantly surprised, etc., etc. You can fill in the blanks as you wish. So, but everyone was expecting it to be US. So now US had this responsibility that they had to take charge, right, and make it as quickly as possible. And who was the president at that time? That was President Eisenhower. Okay. So he, approved the plan because, it needed a detailed plan and, a lot of work by the scientists, but there were some formalities need to be done. And that was done just for July 1st, 1957 to December 31st, 1958. And this was an effort to gather the data for Earth because it was a cooperative effort, right? We all live on Earth. So Soviet Union, as I told you, then they also jumped in. And I think humanity, everyone started understanding the importance, the significance of having such kind of organization and such kind of research. And then July 29, 1958, President Eisenhower, he signed the NASA, okay, of 1958. That is National Aeronautics and Space Act of 1958. And that established NASA. Again, it is still NASA. That is National Aeronautics Space Administration. And that's how it all started. And US worked very fast. And October 1958, there was the launch of NASA happened. And before that also something was there. And what was there, I will tell you. NASA not just, was a first kind such a large institution which was going to do this kind of research. There was something before that was called as a NACA. That stood for National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics. That was absorbed into NASA. And then the real research started, and a lot of, personnel, experts in their fields, everyone were taking care of to make this as a mission for humanity. And I have to agree with this, that, you must have observed there is nowhere ever you will find that NASA has not contributed. I will also like to add that it is not only NASA. Being an Indian, I have to say that, ISRO, where we have created a lot of other, such missions. And very recently, Chandrayaan happened, which is basically mission to the moon. And we have been also doing very, very well. So all these things, which kind of organization has done what? NASA has huge contribution. I will say that. They have helped in building of the ISIS, and so is the other organizations too. I would like to also add the names of the great astronauts and the scientists who have contributed. We don't know their names, but I think we should know their names, because you just have to be heard. Like, I will just like to tell you my favorite person on this earth. One of the favorite personal hero on this earth is Mr. Gregor Johann Mendel. So Gregor Johann Mendel was self-made scientist. Why I'm saying that? Because, in his time, there was no institute per se where people used to go and learn, any kind of research or whatever. He on his own, he became a priest, become a monk in Austria, and he did his own research, whatever came in his mind. And he wrote everything in a journal, and, it was a research paper and all. But, and it got published. But irony is, that when he was alive, nobody acknowledged him. Only when he died, and after that, around 20 plus years, it was acknowledged that what his research was, it was impeccable, it was groundbreaking, it was amazing. And you know what? He is known as father of genetics still. And his research was absolutely correct. And that has given us, what we do to develop, gene therapy or eugenics, everything comes from. That was the beginning. That was the alphabet. That was the everything of the genetics. So I would say that all these organizations worldwide, and the scientists and the astronauts, it is very hard. Only the fancy part of it we understand. We don't really know what kind of hard work goes behind this. It's not easy. It's physically hard. It's mentally, you have to be really highly intellectual to do what the astronauts do or the scientists do. There is no scope for any kind of error at all, like probably 0.000000001%. No, you cannot go wrong at all. If one calculation goes wrong, it could be a disaster. We don't. So they are working for humanity. They are heroes. So I would like to highlight all those kind of things, in my upcoming episodes. So as you know now that this is going to be about the research and knowing the universe. Reach out to me on abhilashapodcast@gmail.com. Be your own guru, have fun, and I'll catch you later for sure. I mean, very next week. Take care. Bye.